So, there's been a lot of controversy, a lot of criticism surrounding the new UFC game, UFC 4. It's an EA game, and honestly, I'm not entirely surprised at this point that they've done this because they've been doing this for years. They were one of the first to introduce it. But yeah, they've been doing things like this for a while now, and this just takes the cake, really. So, I'm going to get right into it. So, the big bad thing that EA have done recently that everyone's in uproar about. See, they've waited for the good reviews to come out about it, so more people buy the game, and they've done a patch for it. Now, patches after release, they're quite common. Usually I wouldn't be bothered about it, but in this case, like, they've added real adverts into the game after the reviews have come out because they knew they would get slated for it. I'm all for companies getting their money through passive advertisements in games. Sometimes it can be kind of cool, like if it's on a billboard or if it's on like an in-game building, like in Times Square or some shit. If it's something like that, it's kind of cool. I don't mind as much. It's quite passive. Like the ones they update in real life and in the game, and that can be really cool. You know, I'll take some passive ads in a game over some of the predatory battle pass, season pass stuff that a lot of games are doing these days. But in the case of passive advertisements, they're used tastefully and they're not intrusive, which is good. In free to play games, it's a bit more necessary, like, you know, I can't knock that because that's their way of making money. They're providing you with a free game, but you've got to sit through a couple of ads or pay to get rid of them. That's fine, but they don't make the actual sales. They've got to get their money elsewhere. In a 50 quid game, you don't want to see adverts, okay? You've paid to be ad-free. You've paid that already. It's not what they call a freemium game. You've paid the full price for a game. I know that in this case, in real life, UFC shows ads in between rounds, okay? And in stuff like FIFA, they've got it on the little displays behind the game. But that's passive advertisement. It's not intrusive. It works with the game. I know it's in some cases it's different, like the Super Bowl, people look forward to them adverts, but that's a special case. Anyway, I'm sidetracking, but I know that in this case UFC in real life will show ads in between games. A lot of American sports do this. Baseball, basketball, hockey, in between rounds, in between matches, in between games, whatever, they'll show adverts, and you could argue that this is adding to the immersion of the game, but it's not really. It's unnecessary. You can add in ads in the background. You don't need to have ads on the corner of the screen, on the side of the screen, the one that pops up when you're actually playing it. The highlights of the match. You don't want to see an advert right before the thing for a few seconds. See, the difference between the real life adverts in sports and this is that's the sports industry. The advertising is a little annoying, but that's what everyone is used to at this point. This is the games industry, and I'm a little uncomfortable. I don't want this to be something that everyone's used to. Like, I feel a little uncomfortable with them introducing this, okay? It could be passed off as ultra realism, but when playing games such as this, UFC, I wouldn't want to have to sit through adverts of the Amazon show The Boys in between matches. I don't want to have to sit through adverts in real life. I don't want to have to see adverts, really. Now, at the time of recording this, EA have actually removed these adverts. They received massive backlash online about it, but I can almost guarantee in a few months when all this is blown over, or in the next one, they'll try it again. To be honest, I'm still not comfortable with that. Even if it was a couple of months on, it still leaves a pretty sour taste in my mouth. The fact that not even games companies, but like the publishers can think they can get away with this sort of shit. I really don't like it, okay? To be honest, I'm scared of other games companies seeing this, thinking it's acceptable or a good idea, or being coerced into it by greedy publishers. You know the ones. And it just becoming another way for advertisers to creep their way into every waking moment of our lives. It may seem over the top here, but video games for some people like myself are a way of escapism. It's a way to get out of the real world shit, okay? It's a way to have a bit of fun on a game. It's a way for me to get away from the monotony of real life. I don't want to be experiencing that in my games in any way. I don't want to be reminded, actually, that I'm living, okay? I just want to play the game, be immersed fully in the game. I don't want my immersion to be taken away from some ads. And I know that we're talking about a UFC game here. It's not the end of the world. But if other games companies catch on to this, where's it going to stop? How ridiculous are they going to get trying to get their ads in? It's not the games companies that I'm worried about. It's the publishers and the advertisement companies. If they latch onto this, think in-game advertisements are a good idea, what's next, really? You know, are we going to have like funeral care ads in our Call of Duty games? Like, this seems ridiculous, guys, but it's my way of thinking through this, okay? I'm worried about it devolving into ultra capitalism where you can't go anywhere without seeing adverts. I mean, it's already like that, okay? I see adverts everywhere, on the side of buses, on the, you know, billboards if you're in America or some cities here, like side of buildings. In the cinema, you see adverts. It's a fact that the more you're exposed to adverts, the easier it is to ignore them. That shouldn't be something that I'm content with. Adverts are brain numbing for the most part. I don't want any part of this in-your-face advertisement in my games. It reminds me a lot of the 15 Million Merits Black Mirror episode where they have to earn credits to not see advertisements. If you don't pay, you get advertisements all the time to do anything. That's a bit over the top, but something like that could happen in our games. The only way to stop this from becoming a regular thing in games is to boycott this shit, okay? Whenever this stuff comes out, stuff like this, just boycott. Don't buy the game. I know they've waited for reviews to come out specifically for this reason, so they wouldn't get their shit boycotted. It's the only way we're going to get the message across. I know it affects the developers more than the publishers, but it will affect them both, and if they see that there's no game sales because of this shit, they're not going to do it again. Other games companies and publishers look into it will be like, okay, this didn't do well, so we're not going to do this in our game either. The only way we get the message across is by using our money. That's what these companies value so highly, is our money. So we can show them with our money that we'll just go elsewhere. We'll go elsewhere if they're doing shit like this, okay? It'd be interesting to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you didn't, then give it a dislike. If you liked me, you can subscribe, you can follow me on Twitch, you can follow my Twitter to be updated with my next video. So that's about it. Thanks.